successful, you gotta be willing to give up sleep.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Midalabamabassin TV. And today I am coming at you with a gorgeous morning, and I'm coming at you with a straight topic today. Today I'm going to be talking about jig fishing, but not only am I going to be talking about jig fishing, I'm going to make it as simple as possible for you. That way you can catch more bass and not have to hassle with all the options, all the colors. But basically, let's just get into it. Whenever it comes to jig fishing, most people it would seem pretty simple, but especially if you're a starter, jigs can become overwhelming. There's all types of sizes, head shapes, there's all types of colors, there's so many trailers you can pick from. Today I am going to simplify that with 2 rods, 2 reels, and 2 types of jigs, and just your basic 2 trailers. We're gonna make it as simple as possible for you guys to catch fish. I'm gonna rig everything up, show you how I do it, and I'm gonna take you guys out there on the water and I'm gonna show you how to fish it and where to fish it. So like I said, whenever it comes to jig fishing, there are all types of jigs that you can choose from. But I have one jig that you guys need to go check out, and I'm gonna put the link in the description to go check out their products. You guys need to get the 6 Sense Divine jig, and this is the hybrid jig, okay? This isn't just the Divine, this is the hybrid jig. And what the hybrid is, this is a head that is specifically designed to do everything for you. There are football heads, there's archy heads, there's flipping jig heads, there's freaking swim jig heads, there's all kinds of stuff like that. This is designed for everything and all of your needs. So y'all do me a favor, if you want to keep it really simple, go pick this up. But if you're trying to fish with any other jig, I'm going to try to keep it as simple for you as possible. Number 1, a football head jig. A football head jig is mainly used for rocks and fishing in brush piles. An archy head jig. An archy head jig is most of the time used for skipping and getting under low, most of the time like lower hanging objects and skipping and flipping and stuff like that. Next you have the swim jig, which will be one that we're going to cover today. And this is mainly a jig that you fish and swim at the top of the water column. The next thing you have is a flipping jig. And this is mainly a heavier type head that you use to punch through grass. So, of course, there's probably a couple more that I left out. But again, go ahead, if you need a jig that just does everything for you, go get 6 Sense Divine Hybrid Jig. I'm not sponsored by this company, and I'm not basically setting out their brand because, I'm sponsored by them. I just started working with this company, just trying to use their products more, and it's freaking awesome, and I can't wait to use it today. So we're gonna get this out of here and we're gonna tie this onto my rod. Now here is mainly my jig rod for fishing around docks and stuff like that. This is a 7-foot medium heavy fast action, and I have for my line, I have 20-pound line, I have 20-pound fluoro, and for my reel I have a 6:6 gear ratio reel. I really don't need a fast reel whenever I'm fishing jigs. I mean, the fastest I would probably go is a 7:3 to be honest, but I don't normally use higher gear ratio reels. I just really don't like it. I feel like it's too much. So yeah, I'm gonna take this football head jig off and I'm gonna pair up the Divine Hybrid jig. Alright, so I got my jig tied on, and now we're gonna put on the trailer. I recommend whenever you're putting on a trailer for any kind of jig that sits on the bottom that you fish a crawl type bait. You can use beavers, you can use crawl type baits like I said, and mainly if you're skipping docks, I suggest using more of a flat bottom bait because it glides across the water better. And here's how we're gonna put on the trailer, okay? I'm gonna get this focused all up nice on there. So we're gonna take our trailer, I'm gonna actually bite off a little bit of it so we can get a nice evenness. All right, we're gonna take that out. Now we're gonna thread this onto the hook, and normally I got a good representation of whenever I need to pull it out because then it'll set up on the hook nice and even like that. And there you go. There you have it right there. that is it all set up with the crawls. It's looking sweet, it's looking juicy. Alright guys, so for my rod for a swim jig, I have a Pride rod, 7'3" medium heavy fast action tip. And basically the reason I like a medium heavy for a swim jig is because it's really light, and you're gonna see in the video, I'm gonna be using a lot of twitching action with the rod to be moving that swim jig. So it's nice to have a light rod that's not putting a lot of tension on your wrist. Also, these Pride rods are extremely light, so it's gonna keep a lot of that weight off your wrist. Next thing, for my reel, I have a Lose laser speed spool, and this is a 7:3 to 1. I like a faster gear ratio with a swim jig because I'm constantly moving the reel. And then I have 20-pound line. I never go lower than 20, but the reason I'm using 20 today is because I'm fishing sparse grass. Alright guys, for pairing up the trailer, it's gonna be the same thing as the last jig. We're gonna flip it up, except this one's just a little bit different because this one actually has this screw lock on the hook, which helps keep the swim bait on there longer. Alright, so we're gonna thread the bait on there. Now the reason why I'm pairing white with this black and purple, sometimes I like to change the color of a trailer on a swim jig and make it a little bit brighter to give it some type of highlight. But as you see there, that's how we have it paired, and that is looking beautiful. Let's go show you guys how to fish this and where you should fish it. Okay, so we've switched over to the GoPro, and first thing I'm gonna throw is a swim jig. And personally, a swim jig is probably one of my favorite baits that I've ever thrown. It's actually one of my favorite baits to use in bass fishing. So I'm gonna show you guys how I fish this. By the way, if you're curious, this is 1/2 ounce. That's a personal all-around favorite size for everything. So basically I'm gonna toss it out there, and I'm mainly targeting grass whenever I'm fishing a swim jig. And as you can see what I'm doing, I'm steadily reeling that reel. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing in the water. The swim bait looks awesome. So we're casting out there, I'm constantly moving the rod tip, and we're basically hitting those pieces of grass. We're trying to cause a reaction strike, and you can see I'm constantly reeling my reel. Now, most of the time, before you feel the bite, you will see a swirl on top of the water, a bowl, and sometimes even a blow up. Again, we're just keeping that bait right there near the surface, sitting there twitching it at the surface. You know, this is where that medium heavy comes in. You know, you don't want to wear your wrist down after a long day. Another thing I like to do, when the bluegills start bedding, I'll cast up there at the shoreline. Most of the time I use bluegill colors, cast up there at the shoreline. Now if we're talking about where we need to cast, we need to cast close to isolated areas, anything that's different and stuff like that, and try to trigger a bite in some different areas. So yeah, I mean, that's the basics on a swim jig. Next bait on the lineup, we have the hybrid jig. All right, so this is where you can fish literally everything. Now what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna fish around these docks. So I have these docks, there's a bunch of brush piles around them and stuff like that. And it's really basic. I really fish this like a Texas rig. So we're just gonna drag it. I can feel a lot better with this jig than I can a lot of other jigs. I got a lot more sensitivity coming through. I will say that. This is probably a great skipping jig. Yes, it is. It is awesome for skipping. Again, close to that bluegill spawn. Whenever it gets slower in the middle of the day, still throwing up in that shallow stuff, this little 3/8 ounce jig, not a heavy jig at all, really cast up there, and it will get you those bites. Fish it around those bluegill beds and stuff like that. Alrighty, thank you guys for watching this video. If you did like it, go down there and give me a thumbs up. If you would like to see another video basically talking about summertime fishing or whatever topic you would like to learn next, put it down there in the comments down below. If you would like to see more of my content and you would like to learn more about fishing, go ahead and do yourself a favor and go subscribe down there. And for you to be notified about my videos, go click the bell. All my sponsors will be in the description, and the gear that I use in today's video will also be down there as well. Thank you guys for staying tuned to another episode of Mid-Alabama Bassin TV. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.